everybody, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am coming back to you with the part 2 of the doubled-in install in the F250. If you haven't seen the first video, I can go ahead and link it in this corner right here. And I'll just go ahead and take you through the process that I used to finish up the installation and also install some additional accessories and make sure everything was working. So we'll just go ahead and jump into today's video and I'll let you guys see how that project worked out. And to take a look at the accessories that we're going to be installing today, I have a dash kit. This is a little bit different than the one that I had the other day when I tried to install the radio, but I think that this fits in the space and it should take up some of the gap on either side that you may have seen in the last video. And the next thing is a backup camera. It looks like it mounts to the license plate. And we also have the USB male to female, and I have an iPhone Lightning USB, and I would like to figure out some way to mount this inside of the cab so that way I can plug in my phone and it will just be permanently mounted inside. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do that with this. And I actually went ahead and started with the dash and head unit out of the truck since I covered how to remove all of that stuff and also talked about removing the factory radio and everything in the last video. So we'll just go ahead and jump into getting the dash piece, the actual bezel and everything to fit, getting attached to the head unit and test fitting and everything. So we'll go ahead and jump into that right now. And with the dash and the head unit out, we can go ahead and take a look at how this is going to fit. This is the new bezel piece, and we can see that the bezel piece fits very nicely right in that space. And these two things mount on either side of this and on this side, and then the bezel piece will snap onto these edges right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on this and kind of dry fit everything, just test fit everything, and see if I can figure out exactly where these are going to have to be because they have slots, so they're adjustable, they can move up and down. And then we'll test fit all of this together and see how this mounting solution is going to work. I'm going to test fit this piece and see how it's supposed to sit to actually lock onto these tabs. Looks like that is where it's supposed to be. It is a little bit recessed, which I don't know, I think that's probably fine. I think that it will be good that it takes up all the space on the sides and everything, so I'll go ahead and tighten these down and try them out in the dash itself. Oh, with that in there, I like the way this looks. I think this turned out pretty well. I think this is back as far as it needs to go. It could snap back on one more set of tabs, but I think that will actually push it too far back in there. So now that this piece is back in, I'm going to go ahead and put the vents back in, and then we'll go ahead and get this back in the truck. And now onto this thing. We're going to go ahead and mount this on the license plate, kind of like that, and try to figure out where the wires are going to go and do some routing and everything. So we'll go ahead and mount this up. I think that's pretty smooth. I definitely like the way that looks. So go ahead and continue with the wiring and plugging in wires and getting it from here all the way to the front of the F250. I can say now that 15 meters of this is way too long. It's going to be way too much, but that's a good problem to have. So what we're going to do, we're going to attach these ends right here to these and then run the other end of this all the way along main looking harness here. So we'll just run this along here and zip tie it and follow it all the way up to in front of the cab. And you can also see that I desperately need to paint under my truck as well, and I will be doing this in a future video as well. Okay, so here's the start. We have the wire coming from the camera right here behind the license plate, connected to our extension harness, and just starting to snake it along the frame here. So I'm going to go ahead and work along the frame. Okay, now we have the wire snaked all the way from back there through the frame up here, and it comes out right here currently. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the wire into the cab, and the way that we're going to do that, there is a vent right there. And to be able to access the vents that are behind this back seat here, we actually have to remove the seat. Okay, and this is the vent that we're looking at here. So you can see that it's already open to the outside. And this is the wire coming out of the cab that we're going to use to tape to the end of this. So we'll tape these two together and use that to pull these, hopefully, back up into the cab. Looks like it is the cord coming up. There we go. Okay, so we have our AV cable inside of the cab now. Let's go ahead and pull all of the slack out. Okay, so we have the wire snaked all the way outside, down here, under the panel here, and coming up to the side here, starting to come out. So I'm going to snake it up over through this and get it to come out over there, outside of that hole there. And now that we have this video and power cord ran to where it needs to be, I'm going to go ahead and do something with this thing. So my plan is that I'm going to drill a hole right back here that's just big enough for this to fit through, and then I'll put a grommet on it and put it into the hole so that way this can pull out, but it doesn't fall back into the dash. One thing to note is to be very careful when drilling this way into the dash and make sure that you don't hit the wires or any of the relays that are right behind here. So I'm going to drill very gently in as soon as it goes through, then I'm going to make sure that I don't push too far into the hole there. Okay, so we got the grommet successfully installed, and it looks like the cord can move back and forth. It can go back in there, but it won't actually fall all the way into the dash. So that is exactly what I wanted. And the next step is going to be wiring in this wire lead, and this plugs into this, and this is what actually gives the camera power. Now, everything that I read online said that there would be a black wire with a pink tracer somewhere in here, and I'm sure that there is one, because back here at the back, the hot wire back here is a black one with a pink stripe on it, but I couldn't find it anywhere in here. So what I did was I actually ran a wire from back here at this light all the way forward under this panel, up into the dash, and over to there. It's actually that one hanging down that I need to deal with. So if anybody knows where that wire is actually at in the 2000 F250, please let me know, and I will definitely update this wire thing that I have going on to use the wire up here. Alright, now that we have the dash back in, we have all of our wires out here, we have the head unit ready to go back in. I'm going to go ahead and plug this stuff in. It's always a good idea to plug everything in and test it before clipping this thing into place, because if something doesn't work, you actually have to take the whole dash back out to do it again. So I'm just going to make sure that everything works real quick, and then we can check out the finished product. And the finished install. I am very happy with the extra bezel piece that comes around here. I think that if I had to do it again, I probably would have removed a little bit more material up here and less on the bottom to kind of push that up a little bit. But I think all in all, for a retrofit, for, you know, a double din into, you know, an 18-year-old truck, I'm really happy with this upgrade. I think that this head unit's really nice. I think we can go ahead and do the moment of truth. And it's on. So you can see that it works, everything's on. Down here you can kind of see the grommet deal that I have going on, but my iPhone is plugged in here, which means that the CarPlay stuff will work. So we can come here and hit CarPlay. It is using navigation, but it's using my phone and the data on my phone and everything. But I mean, this isn't bad. I mean, it has the CarPlay, has navigation, has maps, can read text messages, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm really excited about that. And then I think the fun thing is that if I put it in reverse, it automatically turns to the reverse camera, turns it on, and everything looks really good. The picture looks pretty good there as well. And then we take it out, and then you can see that it goes right back. So this is automatic. So as soon as I put it down into reverse, you can see that the backup camera turns on. This is functioning 100% exactly the way that I wanted it to. I'm very happy with this install so far. I think that overall it looks really good. I think that it works really good. And I mean, having the backup camera and everything, I think it's super helpful with the very dark windows that I have. So And so as you can see, the radio turned out really well. I really like the install. I did actually fix the thing where the wire was on top of the bracket. That was not all that great, but I did fix that, and I made sure that I wasn't going to cut through my speaker wire, so that was fantastic. Backup camera works great. I've actually had it installed for a few weeks now. I'm pretty happy with it. I think my only criticism of the whole thing probably would be that occasionally I have to unplug the lightning cord from my phone and plug it back in to get like Spotify and some of the other stuff to work. But other than that, I mean, in the biggest scheme of things, it works really well, especially for the price. I didn't want to spend the money for a unit that had navigation in it, but I definitely wanted to get maps and also the doubled in. So I think for the money, for the value, I think it's definitely there. That was really cool. It was definitely a cool head unit. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna run it for a little while. But I think that we will go ahead and wrap here for today. I have some other projects coming up in the very near future, getting back into some truck stuff. Have some new parts sitting right over here. You can't see them, they're off camera, but they are in my garage. So we have some cool new projects for the F250, and we're also gonna start off on the Excursion. So I'll have an update video on the 6.0 Excursion coming out in the very near future, and I will catch you guys next time.